What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I have for you a wireless Bluetooth headset here that was sent to me by this brand that I cannot pronounce. I'll show you the listing here on Amazon. Here's the brand here, nongkaka. I do not know how to say that, but even though they sent me this for free to review, I'm gonna be honest in the review. I'm not going to just favor it because they sent it to me. So I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on this, like I showed you here. So this is where you can find it on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description as well. It's almost $30, $28.99, and it's a Bluetooth earpiece, just a single earpiece that it's great for making calls, business calls and stuff. I'll just show you what they brand here. Also, if you notice my new setup, this is because I moved and this is my new apartment. But yeah, so this says smart noise reduction. I think one thing that is kind of misleading on this is that they use the words noise canceling, which these are not actually like an active noise canceling. What it means by that is when you're on phone calls, it will cancel out like background noise, which I did test out and I'll talk about in a little bit. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and get right into the packaging and everything. So keep in mind, this is a $28.99, almost a $30 headset. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the presentation here. So, just to show you real quick, this is basically the box that it came in. Pretty big box, and it was bubble wrapped in there like that. So it's nice and protected in shipping. Once you open the box, you get this. They give you a little packing slip with your order on it. And then here's the box, what it looks like. So this is like the name or like the model of the headset here, YYK525. So it says stereo super mini wireless headset. It says right here wireless version 5.1, IPX7 waterproof, and ultra lightweight, which this is a very light device. I'll talk about that more, as well as the waterproofing. So on the back here are some specifications that you can check out. And then some of the main features here. Definitely some good long battery life on this. Alright, so opening up the box. Box is it's a pretty sturdy box here. Nothing super special. A little bit cheap. And then on the inside here you get the case, which has the headphones in it. There's kind of some rubbing marks on this case, and that did come from the packaging. I think it's just the way that this is packaged. Just sits on that cardboard and rubs on the top of the thing. So you will have some scratching on this charging case that is from the cardboard on both sides. Not a big deal, but that is something they can improve with the packing. Alright, inside this box, there's just this little foam insert. And then underneath here, you get a USB Type-C charging cable, which is really nice. I am actually very surprised that they used USB Type-C, because it seems like a lot of things are still using micro USB. But it's nice that they've switched over to USB-C for charging things, because just the whole tech industry is starting to switch over to USB Type-C. So I'm glad to see that they have done that and included a cable. And then you get your long user manual here, which I will briefly just run through each page, and if you guys want, you can pause the video and read through them. But just kind of a quick start guide here, teaching you. So here's all the functions of each button. So there's a lot of different things you can do. A lot of different options and things with the buttons that are included on the headset for making calls especially. So down here it talks about the waterproofing. So it says that waterproof in daily activities including sweat, raining, face washing, and showering except in the water. So basically they're saying you cannot submerge it, but it can be splashed and hit with like a sink, or even it says showering. So I actually am going to test that out on video for you guys, just in the sink, to show you that it does work and that it is waterproof. This talks about here about the phone transmission range. It claims to be a range of 10 meters that it works, and I'd say that's pretty accurate. I connected my phone to it, started playing some music, left my phone in one corner of my house, and then went all the way to the opposite corner, and it just barely started to cut out. So it definitely has a good range for if you're on a phone call, walking around your house doing chores or whatever. You can leave your phone on the counter and still be able to walk around and talk to the person. So we'll go ahead and look at the actual headset now itself. Looking at this charging case, you have a little flap right here that you can use to pull it open. It does have a magnetic close, so it won't I guess it will if you do it hard enough, because the magnets aren't super strong, to be honest, but it does have a nice satisfying close. So on the side of the left side of the charging case here is a USB Type-C port, and all the way around the back has one hinge, and the rest of it is all completely plain. So opening it up, you can see there's some LEDs here that tell you the battery life percentage of the charging case itself, which is actually really cool how it does that. And you can see it's pretty bright. You can see it in daylight and at night, obviously. And then there's this spot where the headset actually sits in there, and these two little prongs where it'll connect to charge. So when you're connected to your phone here on the headset, and you can see on the headset there's those two spots, so you have to put it in there the same way, but as soon as it clicks in and makes contact to charge there, it'll disconnect from your phone, which is nice because then you won't have like your phone still connected to this while it's in here, and then you'll be on your phone scrolling through Instagram wondering why you can't hear any of the videos because it's playing on this. But you won't have that in this case, so that's great. Like I said, open it up. Once you pull this out of there, it'll connect to your phone pretty quickly. Like, it connects to my phone before I even have time to like put this in my ear, so that's a really good thing. Looking at this headphone itself, you can see it kind of fits in the case in a weird position, but right here, this is fully adjustable. So you can either use it on your left ear, like that, or you can use it on your right ear, like that. I like to use it on my right ear. We have volume up and down controls here on the top. You can see there's a little plus and minus. Right here's your main button for play, pause, for answering calls and different things like that. All those different functions is mainly on this button. You can also turn the headset off by pressing and holding that. As soon as you do pull the headset out of the case, it should turn into pairing mode automatically, and then you'll find it on your phone. What it's labeled as in your phone is this YYK525. So you just find that in your Bluetooth settings and connect to it. It's pretty easy, and then from there it'll automatically connect when you take it out of the case. Then here on the back of the headset is a little flap. That's your waterproof flap to go over the charging port, USB Type-C charging port. So in the case that you were to like lose the charging case or just not have it on you, you can still plug in a USB Type-C cable to the headphone itself to charge it, which is pretty nice. A lot of like Bluetooth headphones don't really have that feature, like you have to use the case. So that's really cool. Another thing I can see that being handy for is if you were, I mean this is pretty big to leave in your pocket, but if you were to leave this whole thing in your pocket and run it through the washer, the case is not waterproof, so the case would probably not work anymore, but since this is waterproof, this would probably survive and you'd still be able to charge it through there. So it's a nice added option that they give you. Like I said, this being fully adjustable earpiece, the only thing is that you can't like reshape the actual hook because it's just a rubber. It doesn't have any kind of forming to it. So all you can really do is just put that over your ear, and I'll show you how that fits. But finishing up looking at this earpiece itself, you have a microphone right here, and I believe there's a microphone in there, and then I think one of these, no, wait, one of these might be a microphone, but that's where your LED, there's little LED lights to tell you if it's in pairing mode, if it's connected, different things like that. There's some little LED lights in those holes. And then on the bottom is your charging. This earpiece is kind of a lot like the Apple AirPods or EarPods that the iPhones come with. So for me, personally, this does not fit well in my ear. I think there's like different types of ears, because I know people who think AirPods fit really nicely, but for me, they don't. I like to have the little suctions on the end here. So this doesn't sit very well in my ear. But for people who like this style of earpod, these will probably be comfortable and sit well in your ear. And even not sitting well in my ear, having this ear hook definitely keeps it secured on my head. Just to go over real quick the quality of everything, the build quality of this case. It's a kind of a cheaper plastic, you can tell just with everything. It's got a plastic hinge, so that could be something that would possibly break off potentially. The actual base of this, like really the only thing that feels cheap is this lid. The actual base feels pretty solid. The earpiece itself is, I mean, you can definitely tell it's made out of like cheaper plastic materials, but it's also really lightweight, which is nice for being in your ear a long time. This rubber piece doesn't seem like it would break. I mean, it really doesn't seem like it would break in regular everyday situations, but just in case, I'm going to drop it from head level. So say you have it in your ear and it falls out onto the ground. I'm going to test that out, see if there's any damage to it, as well as doing a water test. But to go over sound quality and just overall like usage of this device, I always like forget how this goes in. No, there. Yeah, that's kind of a pain. It's always like a puzzle trying to get it back in there. So I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna get my phone here. Alright, so you can see Bluetooth here. Let's go ahead. This is a Galaxy S21. We're gonna open that up, take this out. You can see the lights and connected. So it takes a few seconds to connect, but honestly it's really fast, and by the time you get this in your ear, it's probably already connected. One thing that I have been having trouble with, and this could be because maybe this works better with iPhones, but with my Samsung, playing actual music and adjusting the volume has been really annoying, because watch. So I'm playing music now on the earbud, and then so see my volume thing here, and it doesn't happen all the time. Sorry, there we go. Look at my volume thing. So I'm pressing the volume down right now and it's not going down, you see that? And then if I go like this, it just like will not turn down. And even though it shows right there that it's down, it's like still up completely on the headphone. So I've had times, like you can hear it from here, it's pretty loud. I've had times where I was wearing this, trying to turn the volume down, and it goes all the way up, and it just freaking hurts my ears. And so that's like honestly really frustrating. And it might be a Samsung thing, it might be, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's really like, okay, there we go, now it went down. But it's like there's not really a pattern to it that I can find. See, now it's working, but sometimes it'll do that where it just goes straight up and it's so loud in your ear. And then with the volume controls on here too, it would do the same thing, but it looks like now it's actually working. So I'm going down and back up. So if you press and hold the minus, it'll go back. If you press and hold plus, it'll skip. See? So that works really well. And then obviously play and pause with that button. So let's talk about sound quality now. So we'll first talk about music, and then we'll talk about phone calls. For music, it's not good. I would never choose to listen to music with this unless it's like all I had. I would much rather use my wireless earbuds that are meant for music. I just think that this is mainly going to be a product that you're going to use for phone calls and not for music. If you're looking for something for music, I would get something different. Don't get me wrong, the sound quality when you play music is not that bad, but anything with bass, it just like completely distorts. So if you're listening to like rap or anything that's bass heavy, you'll hear a lot of distortion, which is bad. But if you're listening to a more mellow kind of music, not as high volume, it does sound pretty good. It just really loses it once you have a lot of bass. Other than that, it's not bad to listen to music, but using it as a microphone for making phone calls for business and such is going to be why you buy this product, in my opinion. So for a $30 headset, I would say it's good as a dedicated microphone for calls. I tested it multiple times, calling multiple people with it, and they all said that the sound quality was good and it didn't sound like any different than normal. So it has a good microphone, that's for sure. I also tested it with music playing in the background in the same room as me while on the phone with somebody, and they said they could not hear the music and they still could hear me fine. So that noise canceling, the background noise canceling does work. I would assume that it would work good also in public environments when there's a lot of like, whether it's like buses or trains or whatever it is. I would assume that it would work good for that as well. I would recommend this if you wanted something for work or whatever the situation is where you want to be able to make calls hands-free. Maybe you just want to have this to keep in your car when you're driving. You want to make some calls hands-free. That's fine, because this does work with Siri and voice assistant. So you can press and hold this play pause button, and then it'll open up Siri or whatever. You can tell them to call whoever. So that does work good. For $30 though, I honestly would not spend $30 on this, just because I have other headphones. I have wireless headphones by Soundcore that were $70, and they sound really good for music, and they also make really good calls. So I like to have a nice pair of earbuds for music that will do both calls, and you know, they have good microphones and such. But this, I would say, is mainly going to be for calls. If you don't have a pair of wireless earbuds for music and you don't need any or want any, I would get this if you want to still make wireless phone calls. That being said, let's go ahead and see how this looks in my ear. I'll show you kind of how it fits, and then we'll do a drop test and a water test. Alright, here we go. We have the earpiece. I'm going to put it in my right ear. So all you really do is just hook it around the back side of your ear and kind of fold it in, and it's pretty simple. That's all you do. This is what it looks like. You can adjust it to where the mic is up further or down, just depending on, I guess, the shape of your face or whatever feels comfortable. I like to have it about right there. Even though it's pretty far from your mouth, it still picks up audio really well. And then to put it on your left ear, you'll flip it like that. But then the downside to it being on your left ear is the volume controls are on the bottom now. So it's just a little bit awkward, I guess, at least for me. But yeah, as you can see, it looks pretty good. It's not like ugly or anything. It fits fine. Like I said, this particular earpiece doesn't fit in my ear that well, so it is very possible for it to fall out, especially with this ear hook not being able to resize it, I guess. So it does fit somewhat loosely in my ear. As for my testing and stuff, like I said, I would only want to wear this to make phone calls. I don't really want to wear it to listen to music because it's big, and like I said, it doesn't fit completely great in my ear. So let's go ahead and do some drop tests. I'm standing right now. This is head height. We're just going to simulate a situation where it would fall out of your ear, and we'll just see how it holds up. So as you can see, it didn't take a whole lot of shaking my head for that to fall out. But let's see, I'll get some music playing. Let's see if it just keeps playing. So it's playing right now. Music's still playing. We'll do a couple drop tests. Volume buttons still seem to work. Dropped it again. Still playing music. Alright. That was a pretty hard hit. Let's see. Still playing music. Volume buttons work. Play, pause works. Alright. We'll do one more from right here, right onto the plastic. So that's pretty much as extreme as it's gonna get, I'd say, for one of these things. I probably just dropped it from about 6.5, 7 feet, and everything seems to be working. Controls still working, music still playing. Doesn't look to be damaged at all. No scratches really or anything. So I'd say it's pretty durable. Let's go test it in some water. Alright, here we go. We're gonna run it under the sink. It's dripping water. It sounds like the music stopped. Not sure why. But you could see that was like pretty high pressure coming out of the sink there. Pretty extreme test. Did right into the mics and the speaker, all of that. The flap is still closed, but I definitely got water everywhere that it could go. So let's see, let's try pressing and holding the power button, see if any lights come on. I mean, they claim this to be IPX7 waterproof, which means that you can submerge it in water at a depth of 1 meter for 30 minutes. But it's funny because the booklet that came with this said not to submerge it in water, and usually when there's a water resistant rating, they'll say water resistant versus actually waterproof, and the way that they word this in the description is waterproof. So essentially they're saying that you can submerge it, and I'm not even sure if it survived from this. Okay, I kind of just dried this off quickly with a towel. I still am not seeing any life, so I'm just going to put it in the case and see. Man, I literally forget every time how this thing goes in there. There we go. Okay. There is a red light now. You can tell when it's charging because there's that little red light there. So I'm going to close the case, open it back up, and see if it connects to my phone. We got so you can see here on my phone, it didn't automatically connect. Still water coming out of the earpiece. Nope, didn't connect. Okay, so none of these lights are working except the charging light. That water test might have just done it. It might still have to dry off. Let's see under this flap if any water got under there. Doesn't look like it. You can see water coming out from the speaker part of the earphone. Might have just blasted too much water down in there that it got all up in the internals. But either way, they say it's waterproof, so it shouldn't, you know, it should be able to survive that. It should be able to survive dunking down 3 feet underwater, because that's what it is. That's what they say it is. So I'm gonna go ahead, leave that in the case, let it dry out a little bit. Hey guys, I just want to do an update real quick on the water test. It's been about 24 hours now. I've let the earpiece dry out. I left it for a few hours on top of the heater in my apartment, and it is working again, but there are a couple effects that I've noticed different. As far as the build goes, everything still good. It definitely survived the drop tests and the water test, but it did take a while to dry out from that water. I think mainly it was the water getting in this earpiece, which wouldn't be a problem if you were actually wearing it and like taking a shower or in the rain or working out, whatever the case would be. If you're wearing it, you're likely not going to get water in there. So that probably is what affected it a lot, but it does still work. It turns on. I'll show you here. So we'll have that closed. We'll grab my phone and we'll show you the Bluetooth settings right there. Open it up, pull it out, and it's connected. Just like that. And then let's go ahead and play some music. So if you can't hear it, it's playing music. But there's two things that I noticed. For one, it doesn't get as loud. And that might be because it's still not fully dried out. Maybe there's still water in that speaker. That's kind of keeping it quieted down. But it doesn't get as loud as it did before. And it also doesn't sound quite as clear. So that also could be because there's water still in it. Maybe it's not completely dried out. But that is what I have noticed with this. And I just wanted to bring that to attention. But it did survive, which is pretty cool. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you guys. Do I recommend this? Yes, but only if you want it as a dedicated phone call making headset. It's not the best quality. It has some pretty cool features, but for $30, I feel like if you just spend a little bit more and get some nice wireless earbuds, they do just as good for calling as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description for this. Also, if you want to check out my channel for some other videos, I have videos on actual Bluetooth earbuds that I really like and that I would definitely recommend to you guys for under $100. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time.